Step 1. Figure out the conclusion of the argument. This last sentence here is the conclusion. Step 2. Link the portions in boldface with the conclusion. You see, the first boldface here is a circumstance that the argument seeks to explore the consequences of. And the second boldface here, see, this identifies the body of the conclusion. This cannot be called the conclusion itself because this is a part of a larger sentence which questions whether the portion under the boldface is true. And therefore this cannot be called the conclusion, but it can be called the body of the conclusion. See, the conclusion here is that the pros outweigh the cons, and therefore the new approach has benefited the organization. So the second boldface identifies the body of the conclusion. With that groundwork, let's look at the answer choices. The first is a finding. Yes, it is a fine word to be used for the first boldface. This is a finding and observation, the implications of which, yes, the argument evaluates the consequences of the first boldface. So a good job with the first part here. Answer choice B also has the same first half, so this is alright. Look at the second part here. The second identifies the content of the conclusion. Yes, content of the conclusion is a good word. The phrase I used while doing the groundwork is body of the conclusion. So yes, content of the conclusion is a very good phrase for this. Good job with the second part also here. A is likely the correct answer choice. Answer choice B says that the second calls the conclusion into question. See, calling something into question has a very different meaning. Some students will select this thinking that this boldface is a part of this whether phrase. So it is a part of a question being asked, but a question being asked is different from calling something into question. Calling something into question means doubting it. That is not the case here. Answer choice B should be eliminated. Answer choice C, the first part here is the same, so this part is alright. The second part says that the second boldface provides support for that conclusion. No, the second bold part is not providing support for the conclusion. The second boldface is the body of the conclusion. It is not doing any action of supporting the conclusion. So not a good job with the second half here. Choice C should be eliminated. Answer choice D, saying that the first supports the conclusion, is not the best way of saying it. This is simply stating an observation. It is not doing any action of supporting something. However, the real problem in answer choice D lies in the second part here, saying that the second boldface calls the conclusion into question. So this problem is same as what we saw in answer choice B. D should also be eliminated. Look at answer choice E now. The first is a finding, the implications of which the argument seeks to evaluate. So yes, the first part is on the lines of what we saw in choices A, B and C. This is alright. But then the second part commits the same mistake that we saw in choices B and D. This part is not correct. Answer choice E should be eliminated. Let's confirm answer choice A once. Yes, the first is a finding, the implications of which the argument seeks to evaluate. So this part is alright. And yes, the second identifies the content of the conclusion. Yes, that is absolutely correct. Had it been simply the second is the conclusion of the argument, that would not be technically correct because what you have here is a part of this whether phrase. So this cannot be called the conclusion, but since whether has not been turned bold, the boldface here identifies the body of the conclusion. A is the correct answer choice.